Hello, I'm Johnny Nebulous. Welcome to episode 3. You might be noticing that I'm wearing sunglasses right now. That's so you can't tell that I have a bad habit of not looking directly at the camera when I record these. Movie magic. You'll also notice I got a little scabby spot on my nose. That's because I scrubbed too hard. I'm going to continue on not giving a fuck that it's there even though it's hideous fuck. That's also movie magic. Let's get on with the show. So today I want to talk about my ideas on how we fix the game industry, because the game industry's fucked. It's not the same as it was growing up. I was born in 87 and I've been a gamer since the moment I got my hands on a friend's NES. My parents introduced me to PC gaming with the original Lemmings on DOS, when I got the original Game Boy with Tetris, and my god, my dad held that over my fucking head because he looked down on the whole gaming thing as a waste of time and money. That's a story for another time. So there's a lot of ideas for games. There's a lot of games that I would like to see made today, or that were going to be made that just aren't happening. Like Prey 2, the original Prey 2. That would have been a fucking awesome game. That would have been revolutionary for the time. You see a lot of the mechanics they were testing out as being staples of first-person gaming these days. I'd love to see Half-Life 2 Episode 3 just to finish the story, and thankfully Valve is allowing some independent teams to carry that legacy on through fan projects. I would love to see Titanfall 3, but it's not going to happen. I'd love to see GTA 6 be a blend of the nameless online character and a choose-your-own experience with the strong narrative-driven technologies that we've come to expect from the last few entries, and be more true to its old school roots from the original GTAs back in the day. But the fact of the matter is none of that shit's going to happen. The companies aren't the same companies they were. A lot of these studios don't exist anymore, and a lot of the people moved on. And even if, say, the head of a team like John Romero moving on to make Daikatana, and he didn't bring all of id with him, and in hindsight, with a little bit of TLC and some patchwork, Daikatana is actually a really good game from all accounts. I never got to play it, but I've seen full playthroughs and reviews by guys like Civi and shit that I like. And it's like, okay, this would have been fucking awesome. Even if in its broken state, I would have loved that shit just to be able to get my hands on it, because I didn't get to do a lot of gaming back in the day. I only got to do what my parents would allow me to do, and the few times they felt it was worthy, I was worthy enough of getting a game that I was lucky if I got to pick out. So it's not the point. The point is okay, so we got one genius left, and the other geniuses stayed, or a couple of them left to go on to different things. So you don't even have the same team left, so you don't have those little pieces of soul that people moved in. Plus, people grow up, people evolve, people change, people get different tastes and stuff. There's all sorts of factors into why you just, your expectations are up here and, reality is down here, and it'd be nice if we could meet in the middle on that. But it is what it is. So how do we get back to a point where we have those? And it's simple. We have to do it. We have to start. For one, publishing companies are just fucking dicks now. I mean, they basically only exist to justify their existence and make money holding onto their IPs and rehashing these things. But now with all the technology we have, we can do a lot of self-publishing. So, and we can get our own copyright lawyers and patent lawyers, and write our own code and license our own engines to do these things. We don't necessarily need, we just need passion, lots of late nights to build something we believe in. So for one, we have to naturally push publishers out by creating in a space where we show more and more that we don't need them. We handle and own our own shit. So there's step one. Step two is, I've seen what indie studios can do. I've seen what single-man teams can do. Do we really need to wait on investors to give us money to do these things? We do have methods of bypassing that. We become investors ourselves when we donate to Patreon or GoFundMe or GiveSendGo or whatever the fuck. I don't do any of that shit. Like I said, I'm not here to make money. I don't give a fuck. So if I want to make money, I will sell you T-shirts with some of my catchphrases on them, and I do have catchphrases. I made them up myself, but fuck it, I'm branding myself, so fuck it. I'm my own company. Now the other thing is, as far as the gameplay mechanics, again, this is indie teams. This is what we as if I want to make a Titanfall 3, I'm going to have to make a spiritual successor to Titanfall 3. It's going to have to be my own thing, and it's going to have to be unique enough that EA can't come around and be like, hey, wait a second, buddy, you know. But that's on me to do something like that, you know. That's how modders have kept a lot of games from the 90s and 80s alive, you know. Archivists, modders, pirators, ROM sites, fucking abandonware sites, basically the community, the old heads and trusted members of the new generations need to come together and start mapping out and figuring out, you know, how we can take the industry back and make it the free-form artistic paradise that we want it to be. You know, advertisers, that's another thing. It's the internet now. We don't need to spend the hundreds of thousands of dollars on a TV ad because nobody gets their fucking video game information from a TV ad now. You have the internet, it's instant, it's there. And also, I've been a strong believer that unless I need something, I don't need to know it exists. So if I need something in my life, I will think of it, and I have a dozen search engines. I can fucking look up a search query and find what I need. I don't need advertisers to tell me something fucking exists. So that's an industry that needs to be fucking whittled down too. IP law needs to be kind of undone and reworked. You know, don't burn the whole system down. It is an important thing to have, but because, you know, we went from nothing to what we have in 120 years, everything's bundled on itself, everything's tangled, everything's weaveled up, it's a fucking mess. You know, people need to be able to protect their shit, you know, and I want that for everybody, you know. And then people need better rules and better clarity on, you know, what's proper sharing, what can and can't be done, what rights consumers have, you know, because the industry's trying to go away from physical form, and that might be a reality just because, you know, the way economies are and resources go and governments get fucky sometimes. You might always have a digital connection, but you might not have the physical connection, and vice versa. So it's nice to have a little both. But the true reality is with all the digital connections, unfortunately, these companies that are trying to force out the physical so they can keep more money, we also have more options. We can just cut them out and keep more money, and then we can invest in ourselves and build up in ourselves. So, oh cool, you made a successful indie game that sold a shit ton of copies. Now we're making the sequel. Don't spend half of the money. You just put your money back into it. Don't spend half your money going and hiring a AAA Hollywood actor at 4 times the cost when there's a dozen fucking great voice actors struggling to break into the industry that you can pick up right now. You know, smart decision making, you know, create a community, you know, help the newcomers come up and shit. Don't be wasting your money on being frivolous and fancy on things that don't matter and don't contribute to the actual gameplay. So do it ourselves. That's what we got to do. I've got some ideas for games, but I don't have any programming knowledge, and I haven't ever written anything out all the way to flesh anything out to, you know, even justify approaching somebody with the project. But yeah, we have to do it. We have to be better. There's the vehicles, the tools, the technology is here. So we want the old corrupt legacy media to all fucking go away. We just have to make it happen. We have to forget they exist. I like this video. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to put it up. Not right now, but I'm not going to review it. You guys have a good time. I'm also going to have a good time. I'm feeling pretty happy right now.